Okay, this video is basically in Ohio's SB-5 bill, which Kasich has presented because they want to stop collective bargaining. Now, what is collective bargaining? It's basically all the federal employees, state employees getting together and say, hey, we want to do this, we want this benefit, we want this benefit, but nobody is representing the private sector. Nobody is speaking up for this guy right here, Joe Worker, in the private sector that works at Walmart. SB-5 basically says, you know what, you don't have any collective bargaining. We're going to pay you what we think you're worth. If you don't like it, get another job. Okay? But here's the situation that's in Ohio right now. It's called a budget. Okay? Right now in Ohio, just to give you, this is a rough example, we're bringing in $100,000 in taxes, but we have $200,000 in expenditures. Now, anybody that's been to school knows that if you bring in $100,000 but you spend $200,000, that's a $100,000 in the hole. You're in the hole. And that's exactly what's happened. We're paying all these state employees way too much money, and we've got too many employees in the government. Okay? So let me explain why it's unsustainable. So basically we have, this is federal state, we'll just use this as an example here in Ohio. So we basically have 6 state employees, all making $50 or 6, we'll say $55,000 a year. Plus benefits, it could be $65,000. Okay? So basically they're making $55,000 to $65,000 a year. Now where is that money coming from? I call that a zero net gain of money, in the sense that that money is only paid because of taxes. Okay? They don't receive their pay any other way other than taxing the private sector. Now, of course, these people are taxed too, which are helping to pay their own salaries. Now, if you just had that, that's basically a zero-sum gain. You're just basically paying yourself. It'd be like me collecting $100 and giving it back to me. Me collecting $100 and giving it back to me. It's unsustainable. All right, so basically we have 2 Walmart employees making $35,000 a year, paying about, $5,000 in annual taxes. That money is basically called taxes, and that is what's paying the salary of these 7 people or 6 people. 2 people are paying the salaries of 6. That's unsustainable. For example, we could take the little boat analogy. So we have a little boat here. We have all the government employees sitting in the boat, and we have the 2 little Walmart employees sitting there. And the government employee said, you know what, we're just going to go for the free ride, and you do all the work. All the work. And so these 2 little guys are doing all the work for everybody in the boat. Oh, that's fair, of course. No, it's not fair. Any moron knows that that's unsustainable. And that's exactly what's happening is we have too much pay or expenses going out for the taxes that are coming in because we don't have enough people in the private sector paying the taxes that are paying these people. Gosh, anybody with a brain knows this. So what we need to do is we need to cut the federal employees and increase the private sector. Man, this is so simple. I just can't believe it. It is so really pathetic. Okay? We need more private sector people paying taxes than the federal people taking the taxes. It needs to be at least 3 to 1 or 3 to 2. I mean, it needs to be double, really. It should be double. We should have 6 people paying in for 3. So basically, we've got 6 people rowing and 3 people collecting the taxes, okay, and still contributing a little bit. But this is the only way that we're going to be able to balance this scale so that the pay equals the taxes. That's called a balanced budget, okay? But no, the unions are not for this, okay? Because the unions want that power. Because basically, all the dues that are collected go to the Democrat Party. A good 80% of them, okay? It's a money laundering scheme. All the money is going right back into the Democratic Party, right back into the unions, and the states are going broke. But nobody wants to tell you that. but I am. SB-5 for idiots. Anybody with a brain knows that we cannot have 7 federal employees or basically 2 private sector people paying the salaries of 7 people. It ain't going to work. It can't sustain itself. You're going to go into debt. That's why SB-5 must pass, because if it doesn't pass, they're going to lose their jobs anyways, because there is no more money. They will lose their jobs either way, because you have to balance. Now, some of the employees will lose their job just through attrition, retirement, maybe closing down a sector or something like that. But it needs to be a 6 private sector people to 3 federal employees or state employees. And their salaries need to be capped at $50,000. I don't care who you are. I don't care what employee you are of the federal government, you should make no more than $50,000 a year. Oh, well, why is... Well, they want to do that to the private sector. They want to tell us how much we can make a year. But see, there's nobody speaking for the private sector. Our politicians, all of our politicians have been sold off to the unions or special interest or getting reelected. They don't care about the private sector. All of our politicians, they've all been sold out. Because if they cared, if they really cared, they'd balance the budget. Vote yes on SB-5 for idiots.